Hello and happy new year! A new year means a new project pan, so let's get into it. We have no particular order other than this is how I wrote it down in my bullet journal. If you're new here, my project pan choices fit into at least one of two categories. They're either old or I have duplicates of them. This could be the exact same shade in different palettes, or it could be a very similar, almost identical shade across different brands. For example, I have lots of different taupe shades that when they're on the eye, you cannot tell the difference. And because I have a few NARS blush palettes, there are several shades that are repeated, particularly NARS Orgasm, which I really would like to use up at some point, but I'm still trying to work out how to work with that shade for my skin tone and colouring. Anyway, my first product for my 2026 project pan is going to be the Calvin Klein Eternity Moment perfume. This is a really lovely floral perfume. I'm just not particularly a floral person. This is the oldest perfume that I own. I received it when I did a sponsored blog post with health and beauty retailer Boots here in the UK. It was a Mother's Day campaign and I liked it so much as a floral perfume that I actually ended up buying it for my mum. I don't live particularly close to my mum, so when I feel like I need a mum hug, I'll often put this on and it helps me feel like I'm closer to her. There is a lot left. I'm not convinced I'm going to use all of this up. I would like to use up half of what is still there. I'm still undecided as to whether I would repurchase it. I'm hoping my 2026 project pan will help me decide whether to buy it again. Next product that I would like to use up completely is the No7 Total Renewal Microderm Abrasion Exfoliator. I have to admit, when I'm not very well, my skincare does tend to suffer for it. At the end of the day, when all I want to do is crawl into bed, it can be really hard to do my skincare. But I want to change this and prioritise it as part of my self-care, because when my skin feels better, I feel better. I haven't used an exfoliator on my face since before Elise was born, so it's time that I start trying to get back into that routine and using this. I think I'm going to aim for once a week and see how I get on. I do have eczema, I do have sensitive skin, and I don't want to irritate or aggravate it. So once a week is what we're going to try and aim for. Fingers crossed I can get this finished. If you've seen the updates from my 2025 project pan, you will know that I have been working on using up the BareMinerals Quick Change Brush Cleaner. This really helps to keep my brushes feeling fresh and not let product build up, which I find particularly helpful when I'm using cream products. So I'm going to make a real effort to try and finish this up in 2026. Another product that we have rolling over from 2025 is the BYOMA Brightening Eye Gel. Now this was my go-to eye gel for quite some time. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I didn't like was sometimes when it got too close to my eye, it really stung. But then BYOMA brought out their Barrier Repair Eye Cream. Now if you've been here for a while, you may know that I do find I get eczema on my eyelids, which is not very pleasant. Started using this, haven't had eczema on my eyelids. Found that I really wasn't using the eye gel, but I've got some left over. So I've been making a concerted effort to use this one in the morning and this one in the evening, except when the eczema comes back, and then I'm back to using this one all the time. So 2026 is going to be the year that I finish up the eye gel and continue by just using the Barrier Repair Cream. I think we're on to product number 5 now. I'm on a whole journey with my lip products, trying to find the colours that really suit me before I hit 40. And I've noticed that I have quite a few lip glosses, lipsticks, things like that I've used a couple of times and then not reached for. Having identified that I'm most likely a true autumn in the colour seasons, looking through the lip products that I own, it makes sense as to why I've only used them a couple of times. And this is one of those products. It is the Benefit Dallas Lip Gloss. Now this is a warm brownie shade, which in theory should work really nicely for a true autumn. However, when I put it on, there's a definite kind of sheen reflectiveness to it that doesn't suit the muted kind of colours of a true autumn. Can you even see this with the pillow below? Let's put it like that. This is a lovely, nourishing, hydrating feeling lip gloss. I can't do this, this is hurting my arm. So I'm going to use this Monday to Friday during the school day when no one's going to see me, so it really doesn't matter. This way it doesn't go to waste. Next we have this. This is a small pot of MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, which is my go-to base product. Many years ago I kept this in a drawer, and I think by opening and closing the drawer, some of it kind of shattered. Like the pan shattered, the product shattered. So I put it into this little pot and then forgot about it. And then remembered it and then didn't reach for it and then forgot about it. And so things went on. So I'm going to use this with my setting brush just to get underneath my eyes in the really kind of the dark areas that my concealer doesn't fully cover up, that the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish will add an extra layer of coverage and hopefully make them look just a little bit better. This is also great for a little patch of like discoloration on my nose and other small places, because I don't think it's particularly feasible to be using this size for all over my face. So I'll continue to use this, and then I'll dip into the small pot for precision placement. For my 7th Project Pan product, I actually have 2 blushes. Summer and autumn I'm going to be using NARS Enrapture blush, and then winter and spring I'm going to be using Enthralled. I've chosen these so that they kind of give a little bit more of the seasonal colours. Enraptured is a warmer colour than Enthralled. Enthralled is pinker, which works better on me when I don't have as much of a natural kind of sun-kissed glow. And my aim for these two is to hit pan on them. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish them up. In my everyday makeup bag, I like to have a little bit of variety, but not too much, because then I get overwhelmed and my brain doesn't cope very well. So my other blush is going to be, again, a NARS blush, and this one is a cream blush in Penny Lane. I bought this just before NARS discontinued their cream blushes, which they haven't stocked in many years. So this definitely needs using up. I will also say that all of my NARS products I purchased while they were still cruelty-free. They changed their status when they started selling in China, and I haven't bought from them since, because to me that feels like a step backwards. Now, I'm not completely cruelty-free, but I do like to make informed decisions and conscious decisions, and it just doesn't feel right that NARS, having been cruelty-free, have changed that and gone backwards. And I've said backwards a lot, I know. Back to the lip products, we have the Rimmel Lip Liner in Obsession. This used to be part of my go-to burgundy lip, but this is old and it really needs finishing up. I've played around with it and it actually looks really pretty, just this lip liner on my lips, and it feels daytime appropriate. The only challenge I found when I did it last night is that it really accentuates any dry skin on my lips. Again, I'm going to move it up here so we can actually see it. But I've got a year. I feel like maybe I'm halfway through this already. I think this is manageable to use up. Our final product, sort of, because we're going to talk about bonus product in a minute, is actually not a single product. We are doing a whole other project. I tried Pan That Palette last year. I failed at Pan That Palette, but I did learn quite a bit. So this year we are going to do pan those eyeshadows with a combination of cream and powder eyeshadows, and using this project to hone in on what I like and build a capsule like eyeshadow eye look kind of thing. So if you enjoyed this video so far and want to see more Project Pan content, go ahead and subscribe, and I will have that video up in a couple of weeks' time. Those are my 10 products. Now we're going to go on to a bonus product, and that is the No. 7 Lip Liner in Fire. This is my only red lip liner. I have had this lip liner for longer than I care to admit. This lip liner is almost finished, but because it's a red, I don't reach for it often. This probably won't make it into monthly updates because I don't think I'm going to be using it often enough in a month to make it worth updating, but I will let you know when I finish it and how many uses it has taken. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to know what you're working on using up in 2026. I'm excited to share what I've chosen for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. I hope you all have a great start to the new year, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!